Hey guys, it's Lauren, and today I decided to do a back to school books series. And honestly, I do not like books at all, so I don't know where I was going with that. Alright. Hey guys, it's Lauren, and today I'm doing a back to school video on books. And I've never seen a video like this, so I'm very excited to film this. I don't know if this will become popular, it probably won't, but I'm still gonna film it anyway. So I'm that type of person who really hates books unless I'm reading a really good one. I'll get into books like that. If it's so good, I'll finish it in a day, only if it's good. If they're bad, oh my god, the struggle. But I'm here to recommend you my favorite teen books. And I've read a lot of books in my 14 years, because I'm so old. But in my 14 years, I've read a lot of books, and I hated a lot of books, and I loved a lot of books, and I didn't finish a lot of books because they were so bad. So I'm going to recommend you my favorite books that I have found in my years for girl teens. So if you're ever in the bookstore, or you just want to make a list of any of the books that pop out to you, I would totally recommend all of these books to read. My favorite authors are Wendy. I don't know if you ever heard of her. She wrote 13 Gifts. She wrote a lot of books, The Candy Makers, but I love Wendy for some reason. And I don't know if a lot of people like her. I don't know if a lot of people know about her either, but I loved her books. So the second author that I recommend is Judy Blume. Judy Blume was one of my favorite authors from when I was a child, and she writes like these fudge books that are kind of, I forget, because I read these so long ago. I forget what they're about, but I know that they were so good because I read like all 4 of them. These are only 3. She also writes like girl books about girl troubles, if you know what I mean. Like there's one called Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, and it's all about puberty and all that fun stuff. And I would recommend that book, and I would just recommend Judy Blume. She was my favorite author. She will always be my favorite author, I think, but I would always recommend Judy Blume. My next recommendation is going to be one of the biggest recommendations out of this entire video. I recommend this book so bad. This book is for everybody, but mostly this will really hit you hard if you had a dog or an animal. And it's called The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth. And I think he wrote this book too. Yeah, he wrote 2 books. One is an adult version and one is a kid version. And I read both, and I love both, and I love them, and I cried so hard at this book. They should totally make this book into a movie because I would cry so hard. I cried in the first page, I cried in the middle of the book, I cried at the end of the book, because this is about a dog, and it's just about his life, and it's in the point of view of a dog, which is so cool. This is one of my favorite books that I've ever read. And it's like about, have you ever wondered what your dog is thinking, is what it says on the back. And I've actually had a dog. I have had 2 dogs in my lifetime, and one of them died, and I have one now, and it just really hit me hard. And you should totally read this if you are an animal lover. You will cry, I promise you. If you are an animal lover and you love dogs, you will cry at this book. It is so good. Alright, the next book that I recommend is obviously, I don't know where the Hunger Games went, so I'm just going to show you guys Mockingbird. But the Hunger Games series, you guys probably heard about that, so I won't go on a lot about this book because you guys probably heard about this series. The next series that I'm going to recommend is Divergent, and you guys have probably also heard about these series, but this is also a good book. And it's not just good because it was made into a movie, but I like this book, and it was sci-fi too. The next book that I'm going to recommend, it's a series, and I swear to God, if you don't read this book in your life, you have to read these series. It is so good. I don't know why, I just love reading about their life, so I won't ramble on, I'll just show you the book. So, the Pretty Little Liars series, I love the TV show. I watch the TV show every single night. I never miss it. I'm on top of those series, and the books are even better, and I read every single book in this series. and it is so good, and I just love reading about their lives because they have such cool lives, and it's just such a good series, and you should totally read these books. And like, I don't even have anything else to say. If you don't read these books, then I feel bad for you. The next book that I have to recommend is also by Sarah Shepard, which is who wrote the Pretty Liars series. And I loved, as much as I love the Pretty Liars series, I love The Lion Game. And I watched The Lion Game 2 on television, and then I think that show ended because it wasn't getting a lot of views. But I love that show. I just didn't think there were that good of actors, but I love that show. I mean, I love the actors, but I just don't think other people love them as much as I did. But I love The Lion Game. I love reading about her life too, because their lives are so cool, and I love this. And this is also in a series, and I didn't read the entire series in this because I just didn't have time. But Pretty Liars and The Lion Game are just such fun books to read. Like, I finished these in a day. They're so fun to read. They're just so good. The next book that I recommend is called The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And I loved this book. At first I was like, what the heck am I reading? But I love this book. I don't know, there's a movie about this too. You guys probably heard of this. And I love this book so much. So I would totally recommend this book. I would recommend all these books. So I'm sorry if this video is boring you, but I'm just rambling on. It's called The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Did I say the title already? I'm going in.